Thank you, Honorable Chair. We are aware of the offer by the government of 50-50. When this offer was made to us, I convened organs of the union, that is NEC and NDC, and they objected to this offer by voting overwhelmingly for no, because of the following reasons. One, there are members who have retired since 2017-2021. They are at home. They need their pension. Two, if we push this 50% to 2026-2027 financial year, already there are commitments, and the Ministry of Education is going to be constrained. We have 2.37 billion for 2021-2025. That is supposed to mature on 1st July.
What is how much?
2.73 billion.
2.73 billion to mature in 2025,
2026, 2027 financial year.
2026, 2027 financial year. Yes.
That's the next. There are commitments we made with the IPCCF that mortgage, car loan and mortgage was supposed to be factored in the sector budget for 2026, 2027 financial year. The next, we have not arrived. It can even be 10 billion because it is car loan and mortgage for all university staff. So it is not possible that you move 2017.
Order SG. This is not about talking things which are not. It is a house of records.
We agree.
We agree. You agreed
that we are going to sit down and agree on the budget for car loan and mortgage, and it's supposed to be factored in 2026, 2027 Ministry of Education sector budget.
So you have not agreed on?
We have not agreed on the figure.
So you should not be part of the agreement of 26, 27.
So that is what we are saying. They made commitments. They also made commitments that in 2026, 2027 financial year, we were going to factor for all university staff. Promotion, we have not agreed on the figure. So what we are saying, with those commitments, we don't want to clog the financial year of 2026, 2027 with promises again. And the next thing, Honorable Member, when I talked about reasonable offer, Honorable Maungu,
yes.
When I talked about reasonable offer, I didn't mean that this 7.9 billion was to be put in phases. What I meant there is the reasonable offer for 2025, 2029, because currently they are giving us 2%. So we said we need a reasonable offer for 2025, 2029 CBA, not that to be split. Organs of the union have rejected the 50-50, and I don't want to promise the Honorable House that they are going to accept. They voted against it.
Follow off. My colleague here will represent the government. First, the question on how would the union trust the government. I want to affirm again that we have demonstrated, based on our agreement last year, that we can be trusted. And I want to commit here that what we have offered, we will respect, however difficult it is. We are operating in a difficult environment, but we will offer. We will make sure that we try to rearrange the budget and get some money to make.
But because we are on record, and I want to thank you because you are once a ranking member in this house. If you say 50-50, how much? You pronounce yourself, the figure.
It's the total, the figure is half of 7.76 billion, which is 3.85, I guess. Billion. So we had offered to pay 2.16. Now the balance we have already committed that we will add to the 2.16 to make it 50% of the outstanding amount. Yes.
This
financial year. The next financial year we will factor in the remaining amount. As to whether it's spending bills, it's well debatable. Spending bills, and you need to know to what point bill becomes a pending bill. If you use accrual accounting or cash basis, if it is cash basis, it falls now. So we start treating it as a bill as at now when we agree. So if you use accrual accounting, then it is when it was incurred. But again, it is all about the ability to pay. I want to be very clear. If we didn't have the fiscal challenges, there was no reason why we would have a dispute on how to pay amounts that we have already acknowledged as a government. I think that would be dishonest on the part of the government. The government has now acknowledged that we owe 7.76 billion to our university staff, and that we must pay. We are just pleading with the unions to understand that our fiscal space is limited, and we are facing serious challenges. Yeah, we don't just have time. If I could go into the details, you would see the position. Finally, I think a comment was made about whether we are fairly treating university staff compared to others, whether there is equity, that we have offered about 29% to some category of public servants. I don't think that is accurate. Actually, from the information I have on the agreement with teachers, it was 12% on average for a period of 4 years. So I want to just be clear that we treat all our public servants the same, and we cannot underrate the contribution that higher education or higher learning plays. And Chairman, it may interest you to note that my first employer was actually university. I would today probably be sitting either here representing the university staff or somewhere watching the outcome of these deliberations with bated breath that the government honors and pays in full the amount outstanding, which is 7.76. And therefore, I can note for even a minute. In fact, one of my longest employers was a university, 8 years, only second to the National Assembly. So I respect the university staff and the contribution they're making to our economy, but I want to plead with them. And many of them are my friends. In fact, Professor here knows what we went through last year to agree on what to do with the CBA that we agreed on last year. And I think I played a good boy to date. I don't think you have any concern. Mr. Mukwaya here, we have been with him in many places. We have reformed many things with him, and is continuing to reform the country. So I wouldn't really have any issue. I'm just pleading that our fiscal space and fiscal framework is really, really limited at the moment. Thank you, Chair. And I submit again, 50-50 is agreeable to the National Treasury.
Chair, other members. I'll want you to interject once and then you leave.
Start with him.
Let's start with him. Yes.
Chairman, I want to find out from the CS National Treasury, if you split that money in terms of that which belongs to pension and that which belongs to salaries and so on, what is the difference? How much is the one going to salaries and what is going to pension? It provides guidance on this.
On the 3.85, that's okay. Yes, yes. We'll allow that interjection before he leaves. Yes.
I would like to ask the CS. You know, if you promise me a salary increment in a CBA, we know how we all operate. Some go for loans based on that. Chair, this is money already owed. And to be fair, there is no interest charged. We're just asking the CS. You can squeeze somewhere. This is a mess in State Department of Higher Education. You've never had us call you here for basic. Can you just squeeze and give them more? It's a debt. Let it not be 50-50. It's very unfair. It's inhumane. We understand the physical space is constrained.
Chair.
But we need to be considerate that people took loans and people are being auctioned just because of this.
Yes, members, I want you to know, and I think this is out of experience, you don't take a loan out of CBA. Yeah. You take a loan on the actuals, what you have gotten. So in this particular case, yes, the case is very important. It is very true. But the issue the CS has put it across to us is subject to our discussion. Maybe now the CS National Treasury and CS Education. What the members are just saying is actually a plea on a higher, you give a higher payment, maybe 60-40 or 80, something like that. That one is something that we are putting to your desk. But what they have done, if they have actually it was three installment. Now they have come to 2. They have made a movement. We'll hear from Wazo and to listen from them if that is satisfactory. They are not even part of their bargain.
Chair.
Do I release the CS because he's being waited?
No, let the union speak.
I want him to respond to it and then we release him.
No, let the union say something.
Order members. You are not. It is the chair who is giving direction. CS respond to it. And then we...
Chair, I want to just respond that about 20% of this amount outstanding was pension. As at now, this remaining 7.7 billion, we have about 1.55 billion, which should constitute pension. The rest is salary. And I think that is the first question that you asked. I want to... My friend Gisario, I just wanted to also mention, remember, and Chair, I know I'm probably violating standing orders, but just allow me to mention that if there will be agreement on 2025-29,
no, you can't. We will not allow you to go against
CBA.
Orders.
CBA. I'm not really going against.
Yes.
I'm just indicating that
don't anticipate debate.
Some intervention from the National Treasury. And so we must balance off this against the money that we have. By the way, sometimes it is easier to imagine that there's some money somewhere at the Treasury that can easily be pulled. It's not there. In fact, Mheshimiwa, you were talking about interest. There was no money that we put somewhere to give us interest. We are just collecting money and paying. If they charged us interest, that would have been even more disaster for us. I'm actually pleading that that thought is not passed to them. They don't consider that at all. Thank you, Chairman. And if you allow me.
Yes, I'll release you, CS. I want to release you because we are constrained on an appointment, but I want to thank you because in the last CBA, you honored it fully. I hope you will be able, CS, you will be able to honor what you have told us. Thank you so much.
Who wants to say something?
Thank you. We now want to give also the ministry to respond. Then we come. Oh, you want to respond to the issues raised?
Yeah.
Yes. That is you have answered your questions. And I also want, the reason why I was asking you to give us the figures of the car loan, the promotion money and the rest is also to allow this house to think through. But now, because you have not offered, we know what is only outstanding in 2026, 2027 is the 2.73 billion. That is the only thing which is outstanding for them. These others are wish lists, is it? Which you are here to discuss. No, I'm just giving, that's a direction, because if you have committed, it should actually be factual. And then we should have a figure. Yes, let's have the ministry and then the universities to answer. I think you are one. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Maungu's question on the 624 million vis-a-vis the other amounts. SRC is mandated to give advice to government constitutionally on issues relating to salaries, etc. The figure of 624 million was given by them on the basis that out of the 7.9 billion which the unions were demanding, an amount of 7.2 billion had been paid between 2017 and 2021 during the normal annual increment by each university to their members. So it became difficult for the ministry, for example, to go to Treasury and ask for 624 or 7.9 for it was agreed. Because if, for example, the ministry had committed to pay 7.9 billion, when there is a letter by SRC saying the outstanding amount is 624, it is an automatic query, audit query. So we needed to work towards agreeing that the figure outstanding is X. And that's why the verification teams, together with SRC, had to meet until SRC in October then confirmed that now the outstanding amount is 7.9. That's when our hands were unlocked for us now to move to the next stage of how much do we need to pay. Tying that to the ages, sorry.
What's the issue? I want to believe that the CS is taking us for a ride. Because
you are out of order, Honorable Taitumu.
Not out of order.
You are out of order completely. We operate on standing orders. When you raise on a point of order, give us the specific issues you want.
The specific issue is talking about the advisory. And here, according to what was presented, there was the mathematics, there were formulas that were being followed to arrive to that figure. So it was not as the discretion of SRC to dictate what they should take without a formula.
And I think you're talking the same. The question here, members, and I want us to agree, what the CS is saying or what you are saying is true. It is SRC who has faulted everybody here. And that's why we shall have a date with them. It is not even the CS. If SRC gave us a figure of 624, and then they went through verification, they gave us a figure of 7.9. Which SRC gave 624, which SRC is giving 7.9. Those are the people we want to bring them before this committee and ask them, why did you waste government resources, taxpayers' resources on very wrong advice? That is it. It is not even on the CS himself. It is on SRC. And that's why somebody raised a preliminary issue when we were starting, that they should be here. CS, I think that one we have made a case for ourselves. We shall invite SRC here. Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. So once we arrived at the agreed figure, now we came through, how do we pay it? So we made a proposal of paying it in 3 installments. For this reason, this figure has been accepted after the financial year 2025-2026 budget. So it was not in the budget of 2025-2026 because it was not agreed during the budget making process. And members, you are aware, the budget making process for 2025-2026 concludes, I think, on February or something like that. So as at the time we are getting this information, the budget is already concluded. So the only fault that we can be given is that we have not factored it in the financial year 2026-2027, because now we have it as a payment that we have to do. And that's why we are saying, let's pay this in 2 installments, one of 3.85 during the supplementary budget, because this is an amount that will be sort of reallocated from our own budget for 2025-2026, which has already been programmed for other programs. So that if we are forced to pay 7 billion, other programs that were budgeted for 2025-2026 will fail. The balance of 3.85 will be factored into the budget of 2026-2027, together with the 2.73, which has already been factored in, and that math has been done, and we are comfortable that we'll be able to meet the 3.85 and the 2.73 in the financial year 2026-2027.
Let me pause there.
Yes.
The SG sympathized with you.
Yes.
And said 2026-2027 will be overcrowded. Is it true? Are you able to handle it comfortably?
Yes, the 50%, yes, we've already, in fact, we had a meeting this morning and we've done the math.
Thank you.
If that's accepted,
so
to be able to be handled.
So SG, he's not overcrowded. Let's you want to ask something?
I just want to add something. Yes. Let the overcrowding not make us give us unreasonable offer for 2025, 2029.
Thank you. And I think he has made a commitment. Yes. I think you are very good on that. Yes. Yes, proceed.
I think I've answered the question of the member from CIR. That is the reason why we had not factored it into the financial year 25-26 is because it wasn't ready. Once we now have it, that's why we are saying accept 50% now. The other 50% will factor it into the financial year 2026-2027. Oh, the question by Honorable Gisairo on the court order. Once we received the directive from the AG, it is not like we disobeyed it. We wanted to find out what is the actual amount payable because now the case had come to a conclusion. And that is what this period within which we were trying to find out what is the actual figure so that we can pay that figure. Similarly, when the strike notice was issued and the employment court interdicted the strike, the unions were under an obligation to obey those court orders. So we can't choose court orders that we obey and others we do not obey on both sides. On both sides. So we are trying to obey that court order of paying 7.9 and giving a proposal on how that payment is being done. So we are not disobeying it at all. As to whether it's a pending bill, and I think my colleague touched on it, this is a historical date of 2017, 2021. In fact, there's another question that we need to address our minds to. Can the unions declare a dispute on a pending bill when we are in our current CBA? Is this not an amount that is supposed to be executed for? So we have issues here that all of us have to be alive to the situation and say, how do we resolve this problem comfortably and amicably? And we've demonstrated when we came in the 2021-2025 CBA had issues, and we met with these teams and we got a solution for it, and we are up to date currently. That shows that this particular administration has no interest in kicking down, and we want to solve this problem, and we're giving a proposal that we know that we will deliver. Thank you.